Welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Now, according to Keith Winnes, ex-CEO at Everton, Arsenal are in negotiations with Everton to sign Amadou Onana. He says he's got very good sources inside the club. Of course, he's got to have very good sources inside the club. That Amadou Onana is the one that's going to be leaving Everton this summer, between him and Jared Braithwaite. And he also thinks that the player will move to Arsenal regardless of whether a takeover happens at Everton or not. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. This is a very big story coming out around 24 hours later after the Athletic confirmed that Arsenal are now looking to sign a number 6 rather than a number 8. Let's get this video to 300 likes, and I want to ask you right in the comment box below, is Amadou Onana the number 6 you wanted this summer? Is it the number 6 that Arsenal need? Would you see a midfield of Amadou Onana, Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard fit in very well and give us a very good base to go on and win titles and also dominate the Premier League? I want your thoughts. I want your opinions right in the comment box below. Now, this is according to Keith Winnes, ex-CEO at Everton. He says, Onana is the one I think that will go. I believe from my sources there is interest from Arsenal, and something is going to materialize, and something that's going to materialize at any point in time. He's exactly the kind of player Arteta likes, and I've heard certainly that negotiations are ongoing. We all would like to keep Braithwaite. The way Man United and Ratcliffe have handled that negotiation has been very poor. As for Everton, the point is that everything we do is managed for the long term, and the age of the squad at the core of that is definitely very important. Now, he also says that, Franklin and his advisors, I expect to see a clear strategy from them. Part of that will be protecting who needs to be protected and selling players who need to be sold. That is according to an ex-CEO at Everton. He says Arsenal are in negotiations with Everton to sign Amadou Onana. He also says that at this moment, Jared Braithwaite looks like a player who's going to stay at Everton, and Amadou Onana is the one that is likely to leave Arsenal. There is nothing talked about in terms of price. There is nothing talked about in terms of how close the deal is. But at least what we know is that we have negotiations going on between the two clubs, and that shows you that Everton have decided between Jared Braithwaite and Amadou Onana, one of them is going to be leaving, and Arsenal's Amadou Onana, who could be leaving this summer. So let's talk about it. There's a lot to dive into right here. First, let's start off with the story. How credible is the story? Now, it comes in from someone who definitely has big sources and big leaks inside Everton, because again, Keith Winnes has worked as a CEO at Everton. He's got to have sources there. He's got to have very good information. So when he says that Amadou Onana is the one that will go, right, and he believes that Onana will join Arsenal regardless of whether there is a takeover or not, that is serious. This means that this is a very serious deal. Now, of course, it might fail to happen eventually. Maybe Arsenal are uppriced. Maybe Arsenal change their mind. But just yesterday, we talked about how Arsenal feel and how Arsenal believe there are better attractive options in the number 6 in the market as compared to attractive options in the number 8 are also at centre forward. And that's why Arsenal have decided that their priority this summer is going to be signing a number 6 rather than a number 8 or rather than a striker. Now, Amadou Onana is the leading priority. Again, I don't want to sound frustrated here, but for me, he's not the number 6 I wanted. He's not the number DM I wanted at Arsenal this summer. He might be good, young, athletic, energetic, but there is something that is lacking in Amadou Onana's game. Can it be developed? Can it be coached into him? We have to wait and see. Maybe if he joins Arsenal, we have to wait and see. But at the moment, Amadou Onana, I'm not 100% convinced that he is the right profile. But away from the morning, away from the, disappointments. Let's talk about the player. I mean, you all have been telling me why aren't we making any signings? Why? What is going on? I think Arsenal really know what's going on. Arsenal are really working on a few signings, on many signings, depending on what Mikel Arteta wants. But it's gonna take some time, and I think Arsenal are not in a hurry. Now, the fixtures coming out, and that fixture list that we have at the beginning of the season, that is really going to impact our transfers. That is really going to impact how quickly we work on transfers in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Because in the first 4 or 5 games, there is Man City, there is Tottenham, there is Aston Villa as well. And of course, you have a couple of players that are already at the Euros, around 10 players that are playing, at the Euros. So it means you have to give them some time to rest in August, because their campaigns, most of them end in, end in July. Right? So Arsenal have got to go in the market right now and find some fresh legs, some fresh players that can start the season before we can welcome back all the players that are at the Euros right now. And therefore, I'm not surprised that Arsenal are in negotiations to sign Amadou Onana from a very, very credible source near Everton. Now, I think the first question we've got to ask with this one: why did Arsenal go with Amadou Onana out of all the options we have? I think Fofana would have been a great option for Arsenal in that midfield. Again, we are talking about a 25-year-old, energetic, strong, very athletic. He's more like a midfield dynamite, right? But Arsenal has decided, no, we are first going to prioritize Onana. And again, Fofana is cheaper. It's 25 million euros. Obviously, reports are still claiming that Arsenal are still looking at, Yusuf Fofana together with AC Milan. Another new report has been, done today. And of course, we'll talk about Fofana in a separate video later on, trying to understand his game and trying to understand, why Arsenal should maybe go for him. But why I think Arsenal have gone with Amadou Onana over Yusuf Fofana is that Premier League experience. Mikel Arteta is very big on Premier League players. When you read that article, it is on the football. It is on the Transfer Insiders. Go and read that one. It's on the Transfer Insiders. But also, you can follow me on my page, on my Twitter. I have already retweeted, so you can follow me on Twitter, the Cossy Podcast. You'll be able to read that. When you read that article, the most important bit about it is that even Everton understand that Onana is the kind of player Mikel Arteta wants. So Arsenal have already made it very clear to Everton that if you're willing to sell him to us, this is the profile we want, and this is the kind of player we want. And I don't blame Mikel for the interest in Onana. He's a very athletic player. He's a very, very energetic player, and he works a lot on and off the ball. And I think he's technically gifted as well as a player. Very, very technically gifted. So I understand why we've gone for him over Yusuf Fofana, who would be a cheaper option. Again, the Premier League element is the same reason why Arsenal have gone with Amadou Onana over Martin Zubimendi. Again, Martin Zubimendi is a player that Mikel Arteta likes a lot, but I think there have been questions, according to The Athletic, there have been questions about his game, and there have been questions about whether he can fit into this Arsenal system very, very well, right? And I don't blame Arsenal for having questions on Martin Zubimendi. He's playing very well, but he's playing very well in Spain. He's playing very well in Spain. We do not know whether he comes into this Arsenal side, into the Premier League, and he actually fits in very, very well, right? So, again, I understand why it is not Yusuf Fofana and it's Onana. I understand why it is not Martin Zubimendi and it is Onana. The thing with Amadou Onana here, guys, is the pricing as well. Arsenal interested in Bruno Guimaraes, who is going to cost 100 million. Arsenal interested in signing João Neves, who is going to cost 100 million. So Amadou Onana is available for half the price of João Neves, for half the price of Bruno Guimaraes. Don't get me wrong. I think Arsenal should have signed Bruno Guimaraes, right? But with the number of fixtures we're going to have next season, with the number of games we're going to have next season, you cannot have, you cannot sacrifice your whole budget on one player. So I think we're gonna see a 50 million pound signing in Onana, a 40 or 50 million pound signing in a forward, and maybe a 30 million pound signing at left back and a new goalkeeper. We might see around 4 or 3 signings Arsenal making them this summer, and that is coming from the fact that there are more games now, for us to play next season. 2 more games have been added to the UEFA Champions League. 2 more games have already been added to the UEFA Champions League, and that is in quote, if Arsenal qualify automatically to the round of 16. If Arsenal don't automatically qualify to the round of 16, then Arsenal have around 4 more games added to the UEFA Champions League next season, right? So when you factor in all that, when you think about all that and whatever is going on, Arsenal have got to add more players to their squad. Now, let's talk Onana, why I think there is a problem on my side. I like Onana. And before we signed Lokonga, we were interested in Onana. We are also interested in Lokonga at the same time. And I said, I think Arsenal should sign Onana rather than Lokonga. Because when I looked at Onana, I was looking at a real talent. I was looking at a very, very big talent with big prospects. 2 years ago, when we signed Albert Sambi Lokonga, Partey was at his strongest. Declan Rice had not joined Arsenal yet. And I think Odegaard was just coming in. So we were just building our midfield. I think right now what Arsenal need is kind of a Joshua Kimmich, kind of a Bruno Guimaraes. And I know these deals are very difficult to do. But that is the stage where we are at. That is the real, that's the reality of Arsenal's progress. Where we are at the moment is we need to sign an accomplished DM. Is Ahmad Onana an accomplished DM? No. I was on Twitter after the first game for Belgium in the Euros, and a couple of Arsenal fans were giving their thoughts on Amadou Onana and his performance. And the question was, how did he look in that game? And I was very, very quick to answer. My response was not a bad performance, but I think he's being played and forced out of position. I don't know why Mikel thinks that Declan Rice can be shielded from the pressure of playing that DM role, which is actually very technical and very, very difficult to play in a team like Arsenal, Man City, and Spain. Because again, we are talking about total domination. We are talking about no lack of concentration. We are talking about 100% concentration for 90 minutes. We are talking about ability to win the ball back in a single pivot. We are talking about a lot of things in that position. I don't know why he thinks that Rice can be excused from that, but then Onana cannot be excused. Like, I would understand if Arsenal went and signed Robert Andrich from Bayer Leverkusen. I would understand if Arsenal had gone and signed Carlos Baleba at Brighton. I would understand if Arsenal had gone and signed Pascal Gross at Brighton. I would understand all those moves. But with Onana, apart from the profile, young midfielder who can be molded, I am not 100% sure he is the guy. I am not 100% sure he is the guy. But again, Mikel has always proven us wrong. He's always given us a reason to believe in him. And maybe Onana coming in might force Partey to stay. And that might, give us another season where we rely on Jorginho and Partey as Onana grows into the role and lands that new role, because it's gonna take him some time. I don't think it's purely a DM, right? I don't think it's purely a number 6. I don't think purely he is that guy, right? In terms of dominating midfield, in terms of dominating games, I think Arsenal will dominate games. I think Arsenal will be on top of games for a long time with Onana, Rice, and Odegaard. Are we looking to create, the new number 10 role with Odegaard and maybe having 2 powerhouse number 8s behind Odegaard? Again, that could be true. We have seen it last season, but one with Pep Guardiola when he played Gundogan. He played Gundogan in midfield, and then he played De Bruyne, and he played Silva, right? So literally, he played 3 pure number 8s in midfield. But the difference between Arsenal and City setup would be that the number 8s at City are purely creative. They are very creative, and they're very good at caressing the ball. Rice and Onana would keep the ball very well. They would dominate you. They would bully you in midfield. But are they as creative as the trio at Man City was? I mean, we wait and see. But of course, that is what's going on. Arsenal in negotiations to sign Amadou Onana. That has been leaked. And we expect more information to come out now. We expect more information. I think Arsenal will do more deals. Arsenal will do more deals courtesy of the fixtures coming out, and also courtesy of the fact that we have so many players at the Euros that don't look like they're going to go out at group stages. So we might need 2 or 3 players to come into the starting 11 right away in August. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and of course, lots of updates are coming your way very soon.